Hi everyone, this is Heather Lockton from the Flourish.Academy. This is episode 346, and one of the things I talk with quite often with my private mentoring clients is they'll say to me they're so concerned about the saturation of photographers in their market, in any market, our market, that photographers are just everywhere. There are so many photographers, and there are photographers that are better, faster, cheaper than me. How will I ever compete? There's so many, there's not enough business for all of us. And that comes from a scarcity mindset. And of course, here at the Flourish Academy, we're always talking about a growth mindset. But if you've ever had that question in your mind, maybe there's too many photographers. Should I do this, or is the market too saturated? Is there room for me? Well, number one, I'm here to tell you it's always been this way. There have always been a ton of photographers. It's just now that you're into it and you're paying attention, you notice it a little bit more. And I'm happy to report that yes, there is room for everyone, because you need competition to support a market, and you couldn't possibly photograph everyone anyway. So if you've ever had that thought, and trust me, we all have, including myself, especially early on, I thought, oh my goodness, there are so many wedding photographers in my area and they're actually really good. I can't compete with them. How am I going to compete? There is enough room for everyone. And if you're trying to work yourself through this scarcity mindset, then you definitely want to join Mara and I as we cover The Big Potential by Sean Acor in the next set of podcast episodes. The Flourish Academy podcast has been amazing. Are you listening to it? What are your thoughts? We are getting tremendous feedback about it. So starting next week, I believe we are on episode 15 or 16. We are going to dive into this book where he talks about how we are better together. And in fact, when I read this book the minute it came out, and the reason I did that is because I'm a huge fan of Sean Acor. He wrote The Happiness Advantage, and I digest everything he produces. The minute I read it, I thought to myself, this could indeed be the manifesto for the Flourish Academy. This is exactly what I'm about. Big potential is everything that I believe in. So if you're wondering about the value system of the Flourish Academy, then listen to the podcast. By the way, the podcast is like free mentoring, so you should definitely tune in. But there's something in particular I want to point out to you. And look how much I have this bookmarked. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. He talks about defending against the dark arts, and he says, he has this story, which you can read, but he says, we learned how our brains are programmed for emotional and social contagion, and how the presence of even one positive person in a community can actually infect everyone in it with positivity. By the same token, research shows that we can also pick up negativity, stress, and apathy like secondhand smoke. So we work really hard at the Flourish Academy to keep everything positive and to encourage everyone, because there is enough room for everyone. So you have to be really careful about what you surround yourself with. We have been talking about that at length in the podcast. But if you are with a group of friends, photographer friends, and you're kind of getting together and you're starting to commiserate about how saturated the market is and how challenging it is, well, I'm going to ask you to stand up against that negativity and say, you know what? There is enough room for everyone, because, negativity, misery loves company. So what happens is you get a group of photographers and one starts complaining about market saturation and everyone's doing it. And then before you know it, all of the people in that group are saying, yeah, you're right, this is so hard. And you are infecting yourself and others with negativity like secondhand smoke. Who wants to do that? So make sure that when you hear that from someone else, you say, oh, not really. I think it's okay. I think there's enough room for everyone. The market can support all different price ranges and all different levels of photographers. That is everything we stand for. Please, I beg of you, subscribe, tune in, and share the podcast episodes. I think they are really good. Mara and I are loving them. Again, the feedback is amazing. Share it with your friends. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.